George the Terminator, a new era of chaos. It was an ordinary day in the pig family home. Little George, as always, was completely obsessed with his dinosaurs, making loud grrr noises as he played. His big sister, Peppa, was just as happy, dreaming of the biggest, muddiest puddles she could find to jump in. Later that day, it was time for a routine checkup at Dr. Hamster's clinic. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig brought George in for his usual vaccine. Dr. Hamster, a kind but sometimes flustered professional, prepared the injection. But oh dear, a tiny, almost unnoticeable mistake happened. Instead of the standard mumps vaccine, Dr. Hamster accidentally injected little George with a powerful dose of something quite different, steroids. No one noticed a thing at first. By evening, back at home, things started to change. George's little snout began to twitch, and his normally soft, pink cheeks seemed to fill with an unusual, almost metallic power. He felt a strange tingle all over. In just one incredible night, George transformed. He went from a cute, chubby piglet into a huge, muscular pig. His biceps were now thicker than Daddy Pig's legs, and his small hands had turned into formidable fists. His usual sweet dinosaur now sounded like the roar of an enraged beast. Morning began with Mummy Pig's panicked scream. She had walked into the kitchen to find the refrigerator door ripped off its hinges and completely empty. A huge, muscular George stood in the middle of the kitchen, wiping his mouth. He had eaten all the pancakes, scrambled eggs, and sandwiches in the house for breakfast. He even found and devoured the spare burgers Daddy Pig had hidden for a fire alarm. But that was just the beginning of the chaos. George the Terminator approached his parents, his enormous shadow falling over them. He held out a massive hand, and his voice, now deep and hoarse, boomed, "Steroids!" Daddy Pig trembled with fear, quickly pulling out his wallet. Daddy Pig gave him all the money he had, and Mummy Pig, with a sigh, handed over her secret savings for new garden tools. George silently took the money, stuffing it into the pocket of his now very torn red shorts. The climax came in the living room. George, the giant pig, for whom simply walking and eating was no longer enough, decided it was time for a workout. He eyed Daddy Pig's favorite couch, which Daddy Pig cherished like the apple of his eye. With no visible effort, George picked up the entire couch, tearing it from the floor, along with part of the carpet. With a mighty roar, he began to lift the couch, barbell, doing a bench press. Springs flew out of the seats, stuffing scattered all over the room, and wooden legs snapped with a crunch. Peppa and her parents, pressed against the wall, watched in horror as their house turned into ruins. After completing his set, George threw the remains of the couch onto the floor, making a huge hole in it. With a formidable grunt, he headed for the door, apparently to go and ask for a gym membership. The pig family was left standing in the middle of chaos, without food, without money, and without a couch, wondering what would happen next. And George, the most muscular pig in the entire neighborhood, was already planning how he would lift the swings from the playground.